All right, what's going on, boys and girls? So this particular video, we're going to be talking about why I am not a Free Software Foundation advocate, or a quote-unquote their version of a free software advocate. And the reason is really simple, because I can guarantee you the first few comments on this video are not going to be sane, rational people. These are going to be people who, the irony of it, here's the best part, the irony of it is that they won't understand that they will be commenting on the very kind of platforms that they hate. You are using a Google account to comment on YouTube. From a privacy perspective and every other perspective, that should be everything you hate. Yet here you are. You guys are the tail end of the extreme as far as ideological bend on technology. So Google and YouTube videos and all the other stuff is the last place you should be if you're sticking true to your ideology. But why am I not an advocate for quote-unquote free software and their definition of it? Because I view the Free Software Foundation and people in that ilk and that mindset as, and this is going to piss them off, and that's kind of the intent, I view them as no better than either extreme on the left or the right politically, or as either extreme on the religion or atheist scope. Why? Because either end likes to force feed their view and only their view down people's throats. Life is gray areas. Try to understand that. Life is nuance. They don't understand that. Just as either extreme does not understand that. You can argue a point without making people shut down. And the problem I've seen with anybody who discusses the quote-unquote free software movement and all the other garbage is the simple fact that they take that Bible thumper, that extreme atheist end of the demographic and mindset to how they operate and deliver their message, that people are going to shut down and not want to hear your fucking message because you're belittling them. You don't understand their life situations, their circumstances, their choices, their reasonings. We like to preach choice, and you can do what you want with the code and all the other stuff and all the four fundamental freedoms and all the other shit. But the second somebody does the choice portion of any of that, either side is damn well sure to tell them how they're wrong. Sounds like real world stuff, just in technology. So maybe, just maybe, do I have a preference for open source? Yes, I do. I do know. I call it open source. I don't call it floss, whatever. Just like you're never going to hear me call it GNU+Linux without sarcasm. GNU/Linux, who cares? As far as that, y'all lost the marketing battle. Deal with it. For me, really what it boils down to, though, is just like in life, being nuanced, you have to be nuanced in your technology. Everyone's going to have a different reason, a different circumstance, etc. I get flack for the amount of... I've got so much flack for my recommendations on using Opera, or why I use Opera as my browser of choice. Oh, it's just another Chromium-based web browser. You are not wrong. But that only Chromium-based web browser fixes some features and functions that I need in a browser in my situation. Novel idea. Instead of trying to figure out how to make the tool work, I'd rather actually use a already built hammer as opposed to building the fucking hammer. And then the nail. And then the board. I'm good. Just give me the fucking hammer so I can hit the nail to the board that's already there. How you view your time and how I view my use of time, just like in life, totally different. So I'm going to be really frank on my view. Free software people, the zealots, the extreme fringe, the bash it over your head at any cost. You're no better than the people who mock your movement on the extreme proprietary end of things, who think you guys are idiots. But you're also no better than the Bible thumpers and the atheist science thumpers. That you see life in on and off switches, zeros and ones. That's how you see life. Here's the thing. There's a lot of different languages. And those are compiled differently for people. How I use technology, I might use the same fucking compiler, but the language that I need for what I need to do is a whole lot different. We talk about embracing, the individuality and all the other stuff, but God forbid if we actually do it. People are like code. There's a lot of different languages and a lot of different interpreters. Your solution works for you and how you compile your language to your interpreter. Just because it works for you doesn't mean that compiler and that interpreter is going to work for me or somebody else. And that is where people lose their fucking minds and don't understand. So, the short version, if you are on either end of the spectrum, doesn't matter. I look at life nuanced and individualistically to the person, because I view life as more than on and off. Maybe you guys on the free software advocate side that are the extremists, or any of the extremists in technology, should try looking at it as more than on and off and understand that there are a lot of languages and a lot of different compilers to people, just like there is to programming.